Good evening. My name is KallaLaan, and today we're going to take a look at how I made my song Brandende Oond. Brandende Oond is about the story of Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego from the book of Daniel in the Bible. And if you are interested in hearing the full song and want to see the illustrated music video, the link will be in the description. But without further ado, let's begin. The intro of the song starts off with a live recorded acoustic guitar. The guitar was recorded by using an XY stereo recording technique. After that, I added an acoustic bass line. It was programmed in through MIDI using a sample library called Spitfire Labs. Next, I also sequenced in some ambient pads, also from Spitfire Labs. I also added a music box melody in this segment to foreshadow the main melody of the song. This sound is once again from Spitfire Labs. In the last section of the intro, I also faded in the main melody of the song using a filter to help lead us into the drop. Furthermore, to transition between the intro and the drop, I added some sweeps, some cymbal transitions, and this drum fill with 2 layers. Together. For the drop drums, I added a synthwave style kick, as well as a little top kick for more impact. Then there is a snare with 3 layers. This includes the main layer, a 909 style snare layer, as well as a noise layer. Altogether, all of these layers just help to make the snare a bit more exciting. Next is the cymbals that I sequenced in. The first is an offbeat open hi-hat. The next one is a closed hi-hat that is playing a 16th note rhythm. There is a ride cymbal on every quarter note, and another ride cymbal on every bar, or every 4 beats. And finally a crash cymbal, to add some more impact to each section. Altogether, and once again, having all of these different cymbals make the song more exciting. I also added various effect sounds to help transition between all of the sections of the song. Next is the bass line that also has 2 layers. The first of which is a mid-bass layer that I made in Vital. And then there is also a sub-bass layer to fill out the lowest frequencies that I also made in Vital. Next is the harmonic instruments and chords. I added this chords tab, which is a preset that I used from Vital. Another Vital preset, which is this synth. Some sampled orchestral stabs. A pad synth from Ableton's stock libraries to fill out the low-mid frequencies in the song. Then there is also a staccato string arpeggio that plays in the first half of the drop. And in the second half of the drop, I added this choir. For the main melody, I sequenced in a bunch of layers. The first of which is a vocal sample, to which I then added a bunch of effects to, and then even more effects. I also added a lower octave version of the main melody. Next, I sequenced in an electric guitar layer for the melody, which is from a Kontakt library called Shreddage 3 Hydra. I also used a synth shot from a sample library and applied the same processing as with the main melody sound. And finally, there's also a white noise layer that I made in VitalSynth. And altogether, the only instruments that play in the verse are the drums, the bass and the effects, but the main feature of the section is the vocals. I'm not going to go too deep into how I process the vocals, but some interesting things that I did are the harmonies, and also some weird layers that I added to the vocal using pitch shifting and vocoding. I also added a reverse reverb effect to introduce the vocal.
Beeld opgerig.
In the pre-chorus, the drums start playing a halftime rhythm, and I also added a clap layer to the snare to make it sound a bit bigger for this section. There's also an additional layer that gets added to the bass in the pre-chorus, which is this drone bass that I made in Vital. In the second half of the pre-chorus, I also added back this little bell synth to add some variation towards the end of the pre-chorus. The second section altogether in the chorus, the instruments are exactly the same as in the drop section, but the drop melody is replaced with the vocals, and I also added the saxophone melody in between the vocals. There's also this little vinyl scratch sample, just for a little bit more excitement. There's also a synth solo section that I sequenced in, once again using VitalSynth. The same instruments from the intro come back in right after the synth solo to lead us into the final chorus. But before the final chorus hits, there's a little segment where you can hear how Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego are thrown into the fiery furnace. And for that, I made this soundscape by using some fire sounds, some samples of people screaming, and some samples of people gasping, and all together the final chorus then has a whole tone key change from F sharp minor to G sharp minor, and to introduce that I used the same synth from the synth solo and made this little melodic run into the final chorus. And that concludes everything that I did to create the song. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're interested in hearing more of my music, you are more than welcome to subscribe to my channel. Then you will hopefully get a notification for when I release the remix EP for this song, including 3 alternate versions and 2 remixes. Alright, thank you for watching and see you next time. This has been exciting.